Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another session of Falcons, the Men Are Catholic. Today I'm joined with
Jim Gilmore from 1981.
Hey, Jim. Good morning. How are you?
Good.
Or should I say good afternoon?
Yeah.
So you ready to take a trip down memory lane? Back in the halls of North Catholic.
Okay.
So I'm sure we can all agree that North Catholic had some really great teachers and some amazing oblates. What teachers or oblates would have stood out to you the best?
Oh boy, where to start, where to end. I'd have to say teachers, Mr. Butler, history and social science, Mr. Ryan, English, Father Aschenbrenner, math, Father Erbrick, Mr. Winfelder for math, Father Fitzpatrick for French. I mean, they were all great teachers.
You know, it's funny, your brother mentioned Mr. Winfelder too, and I believe Mr. Winfelder was my junior year homeroom teacher, and he mentioned about his hair, how it was always frizzy and whatnot.
Oh, he was like the nutty professor, but the guy was brilliant. I mean, you know, I had nightmares about the Pythagorean theorem.
So, hey, I know we're talking with your brother and hearing, about you guys through a lot of North Catholic alumni. You guys are pretty accomplished sports guys that came out of North Catholic. You kind of want to share with the rest of North Catholic community?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because I really didn't play sports. We were in a family business. My dad was a contractor, so he thought he had 4 sons, so he had free labor. So worked construction, 5:30 every day to like 8 o'clock every night. And I remember my first day at North in the assembly, and Mr. Betts came around and he picked me out of the crowd. He goes, "You're playing football." I said, "Well, I got to get it clear with my dad." He goes, "I'll clear it with your dad." So that the rest is history. So I was actually the first person in my family history to play sports in high school, because everybody in my family, my parents were immigrants, all my aunts and uncles were immigrants. So I played football and basketball because a lot of my friends from grade school played basketball. So Tommy and Michael were football, wrestling, and track. But they didn't get into wrestling until Michael was a sophomore and Tommy was a junior. And they wound up being city, all Catholic, all everything. Oh, wow. And when both of them actually went on to be all Americans in both football and wrestling in college, which I thought was remarkable. And they also did track. Michael did different things, but he was renowned for his pole vaulting because he would break poles every day, and my mom would have to buy him extra poles. So.
How about you? What kind of accomplishments have you had over the years at North?
I played football. I was big, strong, fast, and I played freshman ball and then went on. I played a lot as a sophomore, started a couple games as a sophomore as a defensive end. And just gave me a great foundation for college. And I actually played in the pros for a few years. So, North, I think, gave me a great foundation for everything.
Jug, justice under God. Did you serve any stints here?
I think a lot of my teachers tolerated my acting out in class. But North also taught you not to be late. So, if you wanted to avoid Jug, you had to avoid being late, and I didn't want to go to Jug, so I was on time.
That's great.
Which carried on to the rest of my life too, because everybody in my life from that point on didn't tolerate tardiness. So,
yeah, that's why I was getting arguments with my wife. She goes, "Oh, you're going to be an hour early." So always be an hour early and an hour late. You know what I mean? Yeah. That was the military part of me. So,
yeah.
So how do you think North Catholic guided you into where you're at today, both, in the business world and, like you said, in athletics as well?
Well, it was basically why we went to Catholic school, why our parents put us in Catholic school. It was discipline. Education came first. Just do your work, get it done, do your best. And that served me all throughout my life. I mean, I'll never forget, my first year at Ohio State, I was getting up at, 6:30, 7 o'clock and showering and shaving and going down and eating breakfast. And people used to make fun of me. They're like, who's this football player? Because a lot of guys just rolled out of bed and missed their first class and went to their second class. But I was ready to go first thing in the morning. So it was just a foundation of discipline. And I thought that's what the teachers and the oblates taught us.
Yeah.
So.
How about the good old North Catholic cafeteria food? Now, your brother told me you guys came to your mom packed you guys shopping bags, more or less to say.
They were huge. My mom, we always got a sandwich with like at least an inch of tuna fish between wheat bread or ham and cheese or whatever she made. They were huge. They were legendary. I mean, the bread was just a holder for a lot of protein. And then usually a fruit like an apple or an orange or something, and generally something else. But I was hungry 24/7. So I would always go up and get a meatball sandwich. So I like those. And if I had time, I would always cap it off with a chocolate sundae with strawberries.
Chocolate sundae. Wow. Yeah. Oh man, I wish I had that when I was there. That would have been my favorite.
No, they had it. I think they had a machine where they would little white cups with ice cream in it, and then they put chocolate sauce on it with strawberries.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't think we must have been acting up, but back then they took that away. So how about your guys? Did you go to prom? How was your prom?
Prom was fun. Don't have too many recollections of prom. I remember, you know what? I can't remember where we had it. I think it was way up in the far Northeast, but it was fun. Nothing too memorable. Had to be home early.
Yeah. Do you remember your first day at North Catholic, being that freshman coming from? I think your brother said you guys went to St. Bart's. Is that correct?
Yeah, St. Bartholomew's. Yeah.
So from St. Bart's, which is a small parish, going into that big school, what was your impression?
It was big. And again, you walk in through the front doors, which, and the school was pretty intimidating because it was tall. It was like you were looking at the front of the school, and then you went right into the auditorium, and it was packed. And then Father Toner, of course, kicked off the meeting, and then followed by Ernie Koshnick. So we got to talk from day one. So
Ernie Koshnick's actually going to be one of my interviewees on Friday. So that's stay tuned for that one. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Do you?
He probably saved a lot of lives and put a lot of kids on the right path with the discipline. No,
and you're 100% right, because I mentioned in some of my videos before. The teachers, the oblates, I mean, they cared about you guys, and if they seen you going down the wrong road, I mean, it would happen two ways. They either kicked your ass, or they sat down and said, hey, what's the deal? And you either took it and you made it, or if you didn't, and we've seen history, some guys didn't fare so well.
No, but there was always an intervention.
Yes.
I mean, they were always there. They were always there. And Ernie was probably the first one. So he would bring in the troops. So, but he was definitely the first one.
So North Frankfort football game. We also always had some pretty good football rallies in the gym. I'm assuming you guys had that as well.
Oh yeah. And I went to the game my freshman year, of course, and probably years before that, and years after I graduated. But my sophomore year was the 50th anniversary, so we played at Veterans Stadium, and we beat Frankfort, who was the public league champions that year, and they were supposed to kill us, and we wound up beating them. And just legendary players: Frankie Wojak, Harry Ulmer. I mean, one of the all-time top backs in the Catholic League, if not the city of Philadelphia. Beautiful runner. But yeah, we wound up winning that game at the Vet. So, and then we beat them my senior year too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question. I mean, football and athletics, it always gets you hyped up, and you guys have your own way of getting fired up. When you're down in the pit for the rally, what did you think about the North Catholic band? I mean, they always got me fired up during that era.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's look. We kind of had a band in I think grade school. People played instruments, but there was no quote unquote band or formal band. And then you went to the pit. I think everything got you fired up in there because everybody was on top of you, and it was so close. You were down in that hole, and it was really loud.
I hear
So
you were a wrestler too.
no, I played basketball. Tommy and Michael were wrestlers.
Ah, okay. I
So
got that mixed up.
I wish I would have wrestled, but yeah, Tommy and Michael, and again, they didn't get started in wrestling until Tommy was a junior and Michael was a sophomore. So, and they're in the Hall of Fame for wrestling too. They're in the Hall of Fame for football and wrestling at North.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So looking back, what would have been your fondest memory at North Catholic?
Fondest memory, I think, were your friends. I mean, it was like a brotherhood. All my friends today are still friends that I went to school with there at North. They're still close friends. I don't get to see them as much as I'd like to. Kind of life gets in the way. The legendary teachers, one of the reasons North is closed is the success it had in educating and turning out great guys. I mean, they went on to do bigger and better things around the city, around the world. You look at all the coaches in the Catholic League, Bill Sable, Billy Travers, Pat Manzi, they were all North guys, and they went off and carried that success somewhere else, so and we all left and got jobs and moved out of the area, and the school was in decline as a result, so North's success led to its failure ultimately.
Yeah.
So
some of us come up to you, your kids, grandkids, I don't know where you're at with that, and they said to you, hey, what was it like? What was it actually like to be a North Catholic Falcon? How do you explain it?
Well, it was a more regimented lifestyle. It was almost like being in the military. I mean, you had to get up, you had to put on a sport coat and a tie, get to school on time, do your homework, study, sports. I mean, the guys I played football with and basketball are still lifelong friends, it was where we all went to become young men. We went in as boys basically and became men. So, and the oblates put the religious aspect to that. You're a good man under God, and the teachers did the same basically. I mean, they all believed in that education.
Yeah.
So,
direction of attention. Do you remember it? The class prayer.
No, I don't.
I'll start you off. My God, I give you this class.
I'm totally drawing blank on that one. I was probably asleep during the first couple minutes of every class.
That's great.
I do remember it though, kind of, but I'm not going to try and recite it.
Not a problem. Not a problem. So we all know a lot of North guys. I mean, we're pranksters. We used to break stones in the hallway, this and that. When you guys are walking down the hallway with your buddies and this, that, you see some freshmen. How did you guys like to have fun at North Catholic Hall? What'd you guys do?
Oh, there was always some kind of a comment. I try not to pick on the younger kids. Not that I was shunning them or anything, but there were three Gilmores in there when I was there. I was a senior, Tommy was a junior, and Michael was a freshman. So I think the underclassmen's probably got a lot of abuse from Michael, so I left them alone. But yeah, you were always busting somebody's chops about something, whether their tie was too big, the knot was too big, or their hair, or like you get a free bowl of soup with that sport coat, or something. So
that's funny. So
yeah.
as you can see, I have, I don't know if you can see it that well, I have a North Catholic basketball jersey. When North was closing, they allowed alumni to go in, and we got some helmets, wound up getting this shirt and some other things. I started this thing where I'm going around and I'm getting autographs. So far, I had Barry Brodzinski, I got Jimmy Schulteis. Who else we got here? Richie Wild. And what I want to do is get the rest of the signatures from everybody. Hopefully, you and I can meet up, and I'm going to put it in a nice frame and on a plaque, just like this interview is called "The Falcons Men of North Catholic," and put a nice frame, and we're going to auction it off at the thing. So hopefully you and I could get a chance to meet up, and you can throw your John Hancock on there.
Definitely. So. And I still have North Catholic stuff in my closets. Anytime I go to a North function, I buy T-shirts for my son. And actually, he's worn them, and people are like, "Who went to North Catholic?" Like parents actually asked, and he's like, "Oh, my dad." So
2009, we get the message that Cardinal Regali's shutting down North Catholic. What goes through your mind?
A little bit of anger. I didn't understand. I understand it to a point, but it's history. North was an older school. A lot of the surrounding schools were built basically after World War II. Moving the Catholic schools out to different parts of the city, and then ultimately to the suburbs. So, but angry. I sad because the people that live in that area aren't sending their kids to North Catholic. I do remember Father Toner saying from day one, the reason you're here is your parents made a sacrifice and they want you to get a better education. And when people call, they're like, "Hey, we need to hire some guys for the summer or when they graduate, and I want a North Catholic boy." And he told us why. He would ask them why. They're more disciplined, they're on time, they're good people. And that's what North was. That's what that was North's purpose. I mean, that's why, they created the school. So to turn out better people, and they did.
Ready for a little North Catholic trivia?
Yeah.
All right. I'll do one right up your alleyway, too. October 5th, 1928 marked the very first North Frankfurt game. Who won?
1928. I would have to say that would be North Catholic.
North Catholic. That is absolutely 100% correct. I wish I had them little applaud thing you hear on your back. Yeah. I'm still working on my day. Yep. As a matter of fact, North prevailed. I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait a minute. No, I apologize. Frankfurt won.
Oh.
Frankfurt won 20-7. I was looking at the last one, 2009 game. Yep.
Well, I was at that game, and I know North won that game.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I was trying to get Eugene Bird to come on because they said he scored the last touchdown. So I'm trying to get him on. I know he works for the Eagles, I believe. And I'm trying to get him on. Everybody's got a busy schedule, so it's been kind of tough. But, with the tough times, again, with the pandemic going on and, nobody getting to see each other, schools are closed, businesses are closed, everything's closed. For all the guys who are going to watch this video today, all the North Catholic guys, what kind of message would you like to leave them?
Just hope that they're happy and healthy, and hopefully we'll get to hoist a few beers soon. Because anytime I get a chance to hook up with the guys, I do it. Although I've missed the last several North reunions down the shore. I have a 14, now 15-year-old boy, and he's in multiple sports, so I'm on the go all the time. So usually don't get a chance to get down there, but I hope that they're well. We've lost a few here recently. One of my heroes, actually, Eddie Newman, passed a couple months ago, and he was somebody I looked up. He was from St. Bart's, big football, baseball player, and but I hope that they're all healthy and they're doing well, and they can just stick this out for a few more months.
Totally agree. Tough times, but hopefully we able to get to the Northlands reunion this year. That was one of talking with Jerry and them guys, and they said, they're not sure, especially depending on the vaccine, I mean, we got a lot of older alumni out there still. So,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
all
the vaccine, hopefully, I mean, there's a new J&J vaccine coming out. They can crank out, I think, 100 million by April. So, with the other, that should put us over the edge for the summer.
Well, Jim, it was great. And I want to thank you for taking some time out of your day to share
Not a
your
problem,
story
John.
and memories. It's been real, man. You know what I mean? And maybe we can
Yep.
meet up one day, get that shirt signed. And
Yeah, anytime.
so you take care, brother. It was great.
All right,
Great
John.
chat. See ya.
Take care.